Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boys Mo and Lottie. And this is the Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media, and that's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on the video, or if you are listening to us on a podcasting platform, leave us a good review. 5 stars will be the best, but anything that you think we deserve, it's all good. We appreciate you checking us out. And man, we are in a momentous week. It looks like the strikes are coming to an end and that Hollywood's going to get back to normal, get back to work. So that's really cool. And so we got that to talk about and many other things. But before that, my good friend Lottie, man, how you doing, man? What you up to today, and what have you been up to that's nerdy?
I've been playing, as I've been saying, I've been playing video games a lot more. I've been grinding Returnal, trying to get to phase 7, which is extremely difficult. Also been playing No Man's Sky as well. So yeah, that's the main thing.
But not watching the Wheel of Time,
I'm
which
going to.
which I might add, like I don't know how you're going to, if you're going to wait for the end of the season to binge it. I hope you got like a whole day, because they're 1 hour plus episodes every episode. But I just recently watched episode 6, and it was really good. Like if you like the first season, the second season is even better. It's like way better. It's pretty damn cool. So yeah, Wheel of Time. If you guys aren't watching it, check that out. I'm definitely going to do a review of the season when it's all said and done. Dude, I haven't been doing anything nerdy besides working on the channel and watching some shows. I haven't even played any Street Fighter in about a week, because I've just had outside projects to do. But I'm getting back on it this weekend. Probably check out and getting ready for Gen V this week, man. Can you believe it? Gen V is finally coming out on Friday. We're definitely gonna
That's crazy.
yeah. We're definitely gonna watch and review that. So you guys keep an eye on the channel for our reviews of Gen V. But anyway, this week we got some big news. We're going to be talking about Robert Kirkman and his thoughts on how long he wants to be working on the Invincible TV show. Might surprise you. Captain Marvel has a budget number out, and it definitely will surprise you. And so what does it mean for the potential box office for this next Marvel blockbuster? There's a change coming to Amazon Prime Video that if you're a subscriber, you may be dismayed by, but I'm going to give you some reasons why you shouldn't be too bothered by it. There is the trash take of the week. There's someone, it's always a neckbeard, gotta post a really hot and stupid take, and this one's about Homelander versus the Justice League. Then we're going to talk about the strikes. SAG-AFTRA makes an approval for striking against the video game companies, and it looks like the WGA strike at least, is over as of tomorrow. So we're going to break that down. What happened? What did they get out of it? And how soon can we expect some projects to get moving in Hollywood? So, Lottie, that's a lot of stuff to talk about. You ready, man?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get into it. So, Invincible, I do believe it came out a decade and a half ago, the first season, and we have just been waiting.
A decade and a half ago.
It feels like it came out the same time as Captain America: Civil War. But we've been waiting patiently. We did get the Adam Eve special. Probably was that 2 months ago, and that was really dope.
Yeah.
And we've just been like, when is this coming out? We saw the trailer for the season. It looks appropriately violent and awesome, and it's coming out in November. And we're only getting 4 episodes. I want y'all to keep all of this in mind when I mentioned this article that Robert Kirkman did talking about the show. Remember, we're getting 4 episodes this year, and then we're getting the second half of season 2 next year sometime, right? Where I'm going to assume before April. Keep that in mind. So, Robert Kirkman was talking about, basically trying not to spoil season 2 and talking about voice actors and everything like that, and the process of creating all that good stuff you want to know if you're into that sort of thing, getting into the weeds about creation of things. But he was asked, given how big the story of Invincible is, how many seasons do you think it'll take for you to tell the whole story, or at least as much of the story as you think is necessary? And God bless the man, but he said 7 or 8 seasons. And Lottie, I didn't even see this until you texted me about this. I remember you getting the text, and you said something to the effect of, I'll be in my 40s and you'll be in your 50s by the time this show airs its last episode. And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, at this rate, if you're talking about two years per season, hell yeah, that's 14 years from now. I will definitely, I will not just be in my 50s. Now, mind you, I'm 43, so 14 years from now, I would be well on my way to 60. Even though I don't think that's how long it's going to take per season. I think they're going to... Wait, look. To be honest, if they're doing these 8-episode seasons for some stupid-ass reason, I'm pretty sure they're going to take 1 year per season going forward. But even still, you're talking about 7 years. Let's just round up to the next, to 10. Let's say 10 years, right? So you're talking about 10 years from now, this show could be over. Oh, I mean, I've watched shows for 10 years. I definitely have. I've sat through shows for 10 years. But is the landscape of entertainment even gonna really accommodate this show in 10 years time? Like, I'm sure people were asking that about the MCU, but like, we're on the downs. Let's just be honest. We're in a trough. If we're talking about a wave function, we're at the crest in 2018 with Endgame and everything. We're in a trough right now because DC is kind of bottomed out. They're having to start over again. The MCU's on a bit of a decline, even though it's had some really good stuff lately. A lot of other properties are just like, comic book related, aren't necessarily making people go to the movie theater. And we get stuff like The Boys and all that stuff on TV, but the CW versus gone, we're arguably at a point where superhero stuff is kind of on a bit of a decline. And so 7 more years, is that, can we even say in 7 years people are going to be down with it? Lottie, how do you feel about watching the finale of Invincible when you're in your 40s?
Man, when I saw that, when he said, I'm thinking about 8 seasons, I said, is he fucking drunk? Is he fucking... Even if if it takes him 1 year per season, that's 8, that's what, 6, 7 more years? Like, hell no. What is wrong with you? If you're going to make that shit 8 seasons, you better come out. You better do like what Bleach is doing and come out with a new season every 6 months. That's the only way. It's the only way this is going to work.
Right.
Or
better yet, actually make more than 8 episodes per season. I mean, that's a possibility. This 8 episodes per season. Well, yeah, it's going to take you 7 years to do it. I mean, why wouldn't it? You're barely giving it time to breathe per season.
Exactly.
When you texted me that, I kind of laughed because I was like, yeah, yeah, you you'll be in your 40s, because it is hard. It's weird to think that, but yeah, that's a long time to be
That's a
investing
long
in a show,
fucking
in an
time,
animated
man.
show. On the other hand, it's good because, I mean, it's animated, so it's not like the actors are going to age or anything. Sure, all of the voice actors were, but they're not going to. I mean, they're not going to be too bothered by that. But that's quite an investment in time, I think, um,
Yeah,
for a
that's, I,
for
I
a
I don't
streaming
get it.
show. And remember,
Exactly.
here's another thing: we're kind of in an era of trying to figure out what the hell's going on with streaming anyway, right? We're sort of in a time where, I mean, even this week, I saw, like, not Amazon, but Amazon has, they've you know greenlit stuff and then canceled the green light. They've uh gotten rid of shows that did okay or whatever. They're actually starting to realize, like, hey, maybe we need to make some money with this shit. It's
Hmm.
losing too much money. Stars just canceled several shows. We're in that time where, and with the whole thing with the strikes and everything, sorting out residuals and pay structures, and everyone's going ad supported and all it there's everything's in flux right now. So it feels weird to plan. I mean, and I know he's not saying, he's planning his story. I'm not saying he knows for sure he has 8 seasons, but to sort of plan that far ahead, and what feels like a landscape of shifting sands, seems
Hmm.
you seem kind of confident about something that doesn't even, not even sure they're gonna be there in a few years. Because, like, what if their ratings don't do great one season? You know?
Yeah, because like you said, it's superhero stuff is becoming more and more of like, it's at this point like I would have argued that superhero fatigue didn't exist, like it was just not true. But it's the simple fact that what's that movie? I was talking to my brother about this. The simple fact that Guardians 3 did not make $1 billion, that is a massive red flag for the superhero industry right now when it comes to entertainment. Because that is a movie that is almost like should make. So Robert Kirkman, he are you even sure that you even have that big? Because let's be honest, it's been a long time since even season one showed. There's some people that have forgot about the show. Let's just
Yeah,
be honest.
yeah, and they also, I read in the article that he was saying that they are minimizing CG in the show, which means that they need even more time for animation, because now they have to hand draw most things in there. Which,
Hmm.
I mean, is to the good. I prefer it anyway, because it's always weird seeing that in there. But you're adding on time, so I'm I want it to be 1 year per season, but I'm afraid it's going to be more like 1.5 years per season for 8 episodes. And I'm like, how does this work? I'm just curious. Like, I'll wait. As long as I don't die before the end of the series, cool. But still, it will be weird to be 50. Like, my daughter's literally gonna be a grown up before.
Your daughter might be in her 20s.
She will be. My daughter's in high school now, and I think she's a sophomore in high school, so she will definitely be a grown up before this show ends, unless it gets
It's like
canceled
the
again.
it's like the joke of people who are saying, "Let's pour one for the people that are not alive to watch One Piece end." It's literally getting us. Let's pour one. Because my God, after a certain point, like One Piece is so long, the fans are scared that the creator of the show will croak before it ends. Like, come on, man, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, this final episodes. What's it? Mark is going to be getting pension by the time the final episode comes out. He's going to be gray. So,
Hmm.
well, either way, We'll see how that all works out. But we're really looking forward to season 2 coming up in November. Of course, we're going to talk all about it then, and we'll let you know what we think about it. So let's talk about some more kind of ridiculous things we heard this week. I will say without reservation, Captain Marvel's one of my favorite characters in the MCU. But Kamala Khan is probably my favorite new character in the MCU. Definitely one of my favorite shows, Miss Marvel. Of course, I like Photon, aka Monica Rambeau, and I'm really looking forward to the Marvels. And I know, Lottie, it's your number one most anticipated Marvel thing that's coming out for the rest of the year. So, that being said, there is a weird, there was a thing going on last week. They're like, look at the budget of Captain Marvel or the Captain Marvel 2, aka the Marvels. It's only $130 million. And I was like, 130, that don't sound right considering what I know what's going on in this movie. I don't see how that's true. If they did that, then man, that'll be weird that they managed to do that, and Secret Invasion cost so much more. Then it turned out that no, that's not what the budget. The actual budget is sort of ridiculous. $278.4 million, Lottie. Which,
Jesus Christ.
That's to minus, apparently, because they filmed a lot in the UK. The UK government gave them a rebate or tax break or what have you. Basically gave them some money, a subsidy of $55 million. So, that bumps it down, nearer to 200 million. But the point still stands. That's a lot of fucking money for this movie. And I can tell, I'm going to just say straight up right now, it is not going to, it's not going to make as much money as it needs to justify that. I can almost guarantee that let's see, what did Guardians 3 ended up at 800 and I think 60 850 something, 859 something like that, 860. If it makes that, I will be surprised. Now, of course, the movie might be awesome, and then I reserve the right to be like, okay, it's awesome, so yeah, it can easily make that. But let's just say it's not as good as Guardians 3. Let's say it's better than Thor: Love and Thunder. It's better, obviously, better than what the hell else came out this year? Flash and all the other stuff. It's better than Ant-Man, right? But it's just not as good as Guardians 3, right? So let's say that's true. Lottie, I don't even think it gets there. If it crosses 800 million, I'll be like, wow, you guys did it. Be happy that happened. But yeah, this budget, man, what do you think? That's huge. That's a lot. And I know where it's going. I can see where it's going, but still, that's a lot of money.
When I saw that, I said, "What? How? How did it get that high?"
Well, you know how. Come on, think about what you saw in the trailer. Think about what you saw in the trailer.
But damn, man, it's going to need to make, like you said, 800 something. That I don't see it making it that much, unfortunately. I don't get it.
I mean, it makes sense to me. This isn't Captain America: The Winter Soldier, where all you got to do is replace somebody's arm. That's not what this is. This isn't Civil War, where the most CG you have is one big ass scene with all the Avengers and then Iron Man. That's not what this is. This entire movie is taking place in space. It's in space, or it's on an alien planet. And there's a lot of flying around and pew pew laser blast things, and everything we saw in that trailer is money. If that trailer itself has millions of dollars worth of CG in it, and that's only 2 minutes. So this doesn't surprise me that that it's that high. My question is why? I guess my real question is why write a story that requires this?
Exactly.
That's
Ah,
this is emblematic of this the superhero genre right now. Is it cannot find a balance between, you know, practicality and the fantastic, where it doesn't require $150 million plus to make the movie work. And I'd even argue that 150 million doesn't get you as much as you think. So, and this is Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. She punched the shit out of Thanos, right? She,
mm-hmm.
she's got mad power. And you have Miss Marvel, whose powers require a ton of CG. And then you have Photon, whose powers require a ton. Like, I know where the money's going. And I'm just trying to figure out what was the calculus. Where were the calculations where they said, this makes sense that we spend this much money because we're definitely going to get 3 times our budget back. I want to understand I get it. The pandemic exists. I get that. But still, they filmed this during the pandemic. So that's not a good enough excuse. I don't know. Lottie, help me understand this.
I don't get it either. I mean, I am fully on what you're saying. Like, what was the thinking here? Because it's like you said, it's just, even if superhero movies were doing well, that's still a lot of damn money to spend on a movie. I understand that. I understand what you mean by, oh, there is going to require a lot of CGI to make such a movie. But like you said, why make a movie like that? Especially when the 2 of the characters of the movie you had to have watched TV shows. You get what I'm saying? They weren't introduced or hyped up in anything else. The only time you know who they are is through TV shows.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, and let's not
So
forget everyone's favorite MCU star is the main character in this too. Everyone,
yes.
the neck beards and the toxic fans' favorite punching bag is also the lead. Oh, and let's not also forget that this is a female-led movie, which are like Barbie notwithstanding, traditionally speaking, that's an impediment towards box office success. That's not an anchor, but it definitely does mean something. Just like having minorities lead a cast also is an impediment. So
Well, I won't even really say it being a female-led movie and an action movie is really what's going to affect it. I mean, yes. I mean, there are people, a lot of fans don't like Captain Marvel, but that doesn't mean anything. The first Captain Marvel movie still made over $1 billion. The main problem with the movie is that the other 2 characters that you're hyping up in the movie, who is nerfing the main character, that people, because the quote unquote main character, no one knows who the hell they are, unfortunately, because they were only introduced to TV shows and never hyped up in anything else since, which that is a mistake. And I think Marvel needs to learn from. Like, in my opinion, they should have introduced these characters in some form in a movie before they even put them in a TV show. Like, a good example, they could have had it where they showed up in like something else, then they showed up in their TV show. You know what I mean? Sort of like what's her name? Ironheart. Everyone knows who Ironheart is because she was in Wakanda Forever. That's how you do it. You don't introduce Ironheart and then, oh, she's the main character in this one thing. Who the hell is she? You know what I mean?
right. No, yeah, that makes sense, and maybe that's a direction they're gonna go. Uh, Hopefully in the future, to drive, because I think that they were thinking like, oh, the Disney Plus shows, that's gonna drive everyone to the movies. Like, no, That's
No.
no one is. Not everyone's gonna get on Disney Plus. So, man, I don't know. I want this to do well. You know me, MCU stan. You know, always 24/7. You know, gonna be cheerleading them. But for real, I want this to do well just because I want a good movie, and I have a feeling it's gonna be good. But I don't think it's gonna make its money properly. Like, I think it's gonna make more than Ant-Man. I think it's gonna pass 500 mil. It might. I think it'll probably even go over 600, 650. But I don't think it's gonna get to Wakanda Forever, and that's really
No.
where it really needs to land 800 plus. I think it helps that they got that 55 million, but it really needs more. So I don't know. We will see. We're gonna see. It's coming out in November, and we'll know for sure then. How well it's received and how its box office does, and we'll let you guys know what we think then. Lottie, speaking of needing to make money, I was talking earlier about streaming and the changing landscape of streaming. Well, it's finally even hitting one of the streaming services I didn't think would be bothered by it. There's two streaming services that are, in my mind, vanity projects, I guess you could say, if that makes sense. Not really vanity projects, but kind of like, oh yeah, sure, we'll do this. Which we'll do this streaming service, but it's not really for real money. And they are Apple TV Plus and Amazon Prime Video. Apple TV Plus because it's essentially an add-on, a bonus or a driver for Apple products, right? That's what Apple cares about. Buy our shit, right? And in a similar way, Amazon sort of thinks the same way. If you think, I don't know if you have a Fire Stick, but I have several. And I can tell you right now, if they make any profit off of Fire Sticks, it's bare minimum, right? They don't care about the hardware. They want you to be on Amazon, on their Amazon ecosystem, and they want you to be an Amazon Prime member. So Amazon Prime Video is just like a yay, you get some TV and stuff too. You don't even have to worry about Netflix, right? And of course Amazon has other stuff too if you're a Prime member. If you're not a Prime member, at some point I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Like, am I wrong about that? Like, Amazon Prime is really good. It's expensive, but it's really good.
I mean, 2-day shipping. Plus, sometimes some of these things, it's either 2-day shipping or you gotta wait a month.
Yeah.
like legit.
The free 2-day shipping is, I mean, it's great, and we definitely use it. But like, you get like free video games, like the Amazon Gaming is, you get free video games every month. You get free stuff to use in video games every month. Like the swag or whatever the hell, extra coins or whatever. You get free. You can read books and comic books, and there's a music platform. I mean, there's a shit ton of stuff. But Prime Video, I think, is probably the best thing that you get out of Amazon Prime that isn't shipping. And I've been watching a lot of stuff on it. So I said earlier, I was watching Wheel of Time. I watched Rings of Power last year. There's a ton of shows on there that I've liked this year and have, over and over again. I honestly go to Prime a lot, like a lot more than you'd think. And they're constantly getting movies and stuff. It's a good service. I don't know, Lottie. Do you use Prime similarly, or is that just it's kind of a thing you have and you don't think too much about it?
Well, I use Prime as my favorite of the streaming services. If I'm watching TV, it's usually Prime, then HBO Max, then Paramount Plus, then Disney Plus. But I'm on Prime. If 90% of the time, if I've said I'm watching something, it's Prime. And another thing is I'm Nigerian, and Prime has a lot of Nollywood movies.
I did know. I noticed that they've got well, you could get lost in their stuff. That's what I would say. Well, one thing I will say is, like, enjoy Prime as it is while it lasts, because I believe starting next year they're gonna put ads on everything. They got what I say.
Fucking
Gotta make money. We need them greenbacks. They gotta make that cash. Even Amazon says, look, this shit's expensive. We're paying residuals and shit. We're licensing all this stuff out and everything. That's great, but just your subscription fee, that's not enough. If we're gonna have to pay and I think this is part of the strike. The strikes are part of the reasoning here too. If they have to start paying residuals, they need to make it make sense. And ad revenue is the way it makes sense. Now, if you're like, the sky is falling, if you're Chicken Little, the sky is falling, everything's just ruined, just chill out for a minute. Pay a $3 extra per month, you can get ad free. So I don't, if you pay for, I think Amazon Prime right now is $140 a year, which by the way, just pay for it for the year. Don't pay for it per month. Like, I don't know what y'all are doing, but pay for it per year. It's a little bit cheaper. But they're talking about $3 extra per month for ad free. Lottie, would you pay $3 a month for ad free?
I mean, for how? Yeah, I would. Yeah. I don't want to deal with that bullshit.
Let me tell you, I ain't paying it.
You ain't paying it?
Hell no, I ain't paying $3 a month for it. You might say, Mo, why are you being so cheap? It's only $3 a month. Well, that shit sounds good if all you have is Amazon Prime. If that's the only thing you watch, cool. $3 a month makes sense. I don't just pay for Amazon Prime. I've got many streaming services right now. $3 a month may not seem like much to you, but once you're paying for 3-4 services, it is too much extra. And let me also say, I watch Peacock with ads, and I do just fine. I barely fucking notice the ads, and I'm not kidding. I get on Peacock a good amount, and their ads are not that bothersome. It's, to be honest, the only people who are gonna who's gonna be really bothered by this shit is fucking Gen Z, because they don't know any better. They've lived the majority of their lives not watching regular cable TV. They've been watching stuff on their phones, and they watch TikTok or whatever. If they stream stuff, they stream it on Crunchyroll or fucking Netflix or whatever. They're used to no ads. They're going to be bothered. Those of us who grew up in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s know what the hell a commercial is and just keep it moving. So I guarantee you don't need to spend that $3 a month unless they're just going to be obnoxious about.
That's the thing. That's the thing that I'm worried about, is how obnoxious is it? Is it going to be just like let's say we watch a 1-hour TV show. It's like 2 commercials, 2 ads, and they're 1 minute. I'm fine with that. But if it's like every 10 minutes, go fuck yourself.
I think you will find that the ad breaks will more or less be about once every 15 or 20 minutes, depending on what it is. If they do it like Peacock, like I said, Peacock with premium with ads, so you pay for it, but also you get ads, but it's cheaper. They are pretty unobtrusive. Like, 15 or 20 minutes, you get a minute and a half ads. You can literally just mute it, look on your phone like you're going to be doing anyway. I'm telling you, it's unobtrusive. And it's worth, paying less to still get the same shows. So I think most people are going to stick with the no ads thing. And that's exactly what Amazon wants. They want you to not pay for the ad support, the no ad version. Because for no ads,
they make more money with no ads.
All they get is $3 off of you, and per month. But if you watch ads, I guarantee you they'll make more than $3 off of you. And to me, I say I don't give a damn. This basically is a free streaming service, so do whatever. I'm not going away from Amazon Prime because they got shit that I want to watch. The least of which is The Boys and Invincible. So I'm definitely gonna do it. But I mean, this makes sense to me. Every single streamer is realizing this is a money pit, and we have got to make it make money. Got to make it actually be in the in the red, in the black, and not in the red. So the only way they can do that right now is either jack up the price of it, which will drive people off of it, or make it quote cheaper and put ads on that bitch, and suddenly we're watching cable again. Except when people say that, I'm like, arguably it's better than cable because I had to sit and wait for shit to come on cable, and I don't have to do that on streaming. So anyway, Lottie, safe. Enjoy your no ads while you can.
I will.
But
I definitely will.
Like I said, I still, even with ads, it's a completely worth it, proposition. I don't think we're losing that much. So anyway, we'll probably we're going to talk about it again, but we're just preparing for the day when we get ads on Amazon Prime Video. Lottie, it's time for us to dunk on stupid people. A stupid person, but stupid people, but a stupid person. And I wish I could say this person's name, but their account got suspended on Twitter. So we're just going to have to dunk on, just in general, the people that support this foolishness. It's time for a trash take where we found on social media just one of the god-awful stupidest takes that someone could have on a superhero-related thing. And it is this. You see this picture of the Justice League fighting Homelander. Now, in a sane person's mind, a person who's actually watched The Boys and actually knows who the fuck the Justice League are at all, and mind you, this isn't just the Justice League, it's the DCEU Justice League. So keep that in mind, keep that in your head. Homelander is fighting the entire Justice League plus Shazam, and it has not been eviscerated, torn apart, or otherwise rendered into his constituent particles, but is instead actually not just holding his own, but kicking ass. And the person that posted this, now that, by the way, this picture is like 2 years old, but whatever, or a year and a half old. But he says the Homelander dog walks the Justice League. And Lottie, I'm going to tell you something. I damn near just logged off the internet for the day after that. Because I was like, I can't stand being on the internet with stupid ass people. I have more to say about this. Lottie, please dunk on this fool.
I saw a picture of this because he has a Facebook account too. I saw it on Facebook and I'm like, this dude is just he's an idiot. And 90% of the internet disagrees with him because they're not stupid. Like I was telling somebody that, like, cause some people are in the thing where even saying, like, when it came to in the MCU, can you confidently say Homelander can beat even Captain America? Like, confidently.
He sure couldn't beat his Captain America. God dang.
Because Captain America was fighting Thanos, man, and his shield can block his heat. Like, we're not going to even talk about the Justice League because Superman pimp slaps. Pimp slaps him. Wonder Woman pimp slaps him. Like, Flash pimp slaps him. Everyone pimp slaps him.
Well, people are like, well, A-Train couldn't beat him. I'm like, A-Train is not the Flash, goddammit. Like, y'all better y'all need to put some damn respect. Jesus. This dude need to put some fucking respect on the Justice League. There was only one person in that whole picture. I said two when I was talking to you about it earlier, but there's two people in there that he could beat. And one of them is Batman, and the other one is Cyborg, and I don't even think he could beat Cyborg. The DCEU Cyborg. Fuck no, Motherbox powered Cyborg. You gotta be, we were crazy. No, hell no. What is this person thinking?
He's
He,
like I said. There's like he's not beating Superman. Superman is not even like that's not. I'm not going to even discuss Superman. Superman, Wonder
hold on.
Woman,
Let's
and the
talk about
Flash are not even
yeah. Let's
discussion.
talk about that picture too. Superman laying on the ground shooting his laser vision up, and he's just no fucking Butcher with injected V was giving him the business.
The business.
He
First of like here's the thing. Here's the thing that people got to understand. Homelander can't fight. Like Homelander can't fight. He's just strong. That's all he is. He is the definition of a big fish in a small pond. Like I said, even in the MCU, I think Iron Man gives him the bit. I think Iron Man, Captain America, Thor is that's a pimp slap. Like what are we even talking about here? That's why I was just
Adam Warlock would dog like if you start walking like looking down the list of people who would dog walk this, who would curb stomp his motherfucking ass. There are so many, it's not even fun. Like the audacity, first of all, the audacity of whoever drew that fucking picture as if that were real. The audacity of that person, but the audacity of somebody else to co-sign that bullshit. And I said to you, this is that neckbeard bullshit where they see this edgelord motherfucker character. They don't realize he's a villain. Not only is he a villain, he's not even a villain because he's the baddest motherfucker around. He's a villain because no one wants to fucking test him. Yeah, exactly. Sure, he's killed. Sure, yes. But I'm saying, in his own show, where he's supposedly the baddest motherfucker, his dad gave him the business. Huey and Butcher, with a little bit of compound V, temporary V, gave him the business. And Stan Edgar has no powers and
he's not scared of him.
Wait, he has zero powers. Stan Edgar has no powers and basically cucks him. So, and this is, mind you, this is the Trump stand-in. That's who the fuck this dude is. That's who Homelander is. He's a Trump stand-in. So all these people who are identifying with fucking Homelander and acting like he's the fucking hero are fucking dumb. They're just dumb. He has power, but no real power. And you're sitting up here, you have the audacity, the fucking gall to act like Superman wouldn't beat him like he stole something. I mean, get out of here.
I mean, even Maeve. Maeve was whooping his ass. Yeah. Don't forget that. Like trained Maeve was whooping Homelander's ass. Like Homelander couldn't do anything against her, and he wanted to kill her. He couldn't do anything against her. Like Homelander, like I was telling people, Homelander's not even really the strongest in his own verse.
I mean, he may be strongest in fast,
but it's not by a lot.
Yeah,
but it's like it's.
Yeah, he's in a world where the relative power level is low, right? But yeah, just Diana alone. Let's put it to you like this. I know we're belaboring this point, but let's belabor it a little bit more. If Homelander were in the Justice League movie where they were fucking fighting Steppenwolf would have ripped him apart.
Steppenwolf would have cut him in half.
Would have destroyed him because Diana was making Steppenwolf work, right? And there's no way Homelander could fight him like that. He is a knockoff, low rent, store brand Superman.
Yeah.
And he has zero training. He's never fought anyone who really gave him any real fight. When he finally did fight someone who gave him a real fight, he got bitched. So like none of this, that fucking picture is bullshit on its face. And anyone with any sense knows it. But no, these motherfuckers are like, no, for real, it depends on who writes it. No, it doesn't depend on who writes it, because if someone writes it that Homelander could win, they are fucking full of shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's full stop. He cannot beat Superman by himself. He cannot beat Wonder Woman by himself. He can't beat Flash by himself. Aquaman would fucking dog walk him. Like,
he's not really beating The only person in the Justice League that he could beat is probably Batman, because Batman's just a regular human.
And hasn't
But
had a
like I
chance
said,
to figure his ass out.
yeah, but like Homelander is nothing, man. It's like, remember when people remember the whole discussion like 2 years ago, and people were saying Homelander can beat Omni Man, and I'm like, Homelander will get pimp slapped by
Oh my god.
Invincible. Like, what the hell?
Man, if Homelander were a Viltrumite, he would be a fucking street sweeper.
Yes.
He would be he wouldn't even be the
No,
person. He
no,
would
he'll be dead.
No, he'd be
They would
dead.
have
Yeah.
cold him.
They would have
They
called
would have
yeah,
cold him.
exactly. He wouldn't have even made it to be someone working on a fucking planet trying to take it over. He can't even take over the planet he's on.
Yeah. He would have got cold.
Nah, fuck. Making me
He's,
getting me hot and bothered about this bullshit. So I love being a nerd about these things, but god dang, some of the just like the stupidest people are in fandom. They can't, like, you can tell they ain't started watching any superhero shit until Justice League. Yes, I'm blaming Snyder stands. I'm blaming Snyder because y'all have you have developed a generation of people with no knowledge, watching this shit, getting the wrong fucking ideas, drawing the wrong conclusions, and then they come to dumb shit like this. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Do better, internet.
Make no sense, man.
Anyway, y'all, you guys go out and appropriately dunk on this person. Also, their account was suspended. So if you see foolishness, foolishness like this in the wild, just act accordingly. Stomp it out. It's ridiculous. So anyway, moving on to something actually serious. Two things strike related. Lottie, this is kind of a follow up on something we talked about last week, which was that SAG-AFTRA was voting. The members were voting on whether to authorize, their leadership to give them strike powers, basically, against the video game industry. Now, of course, this isn't the entire video game industry. This is against the major studios, the major development houses. So, as of this week, or earlier this week, the approval was given. And I think they said 98% of the people that voted said yes. And so, know that we are not in a strike yet. That's not where we're at. Instead, the leadership of SAG-AFTRA are now authorized that if they cannot come to a deal with the video game studios, they're authorized to go ahead and strike so that SAG-AFTRA actors cannot be a part of projects. And I saw some people be like, well, good, they don't need any they don't need real actors on video games anyway, right? Or, oh, good, like, they'll just, hire other people or whatever. I mean, I hear all of that stuff. The point is that this is a potential card to be played in this game that's going on between the studios and SAG-AFTRA. So, Lottie, I mean, we talked about it briefly. We don't have to go hugely into this, but are you surprised? And what do you think the response is going to be from the companies?
So basically, they're giving them an ultimatum already to say, "Hey, do this," or
it's a bit like saying, well, to put it into some kind of an analogy, it's as if this guy turned, they turned to everybody, is like, look, is it okay if I fight with this guy? Do I have your permission to go to battle right now if I need to? And they're like, yeah, go to battle, right? And so he turns around. So the guy turns around to the opponent and is like, look, I don't want to fight you. Maybe we can come to a deal, but you just heard everybody behind me. They said, hey, if it comes to it, I'm authorized to represent them and to go at it with you. That's a bad analogy, but more or less that's what it is. It's an ultimatum in the sense that it's on the table now. They're sitting at the negotiating table, and he just put his gun on the table to just let you know, I have this thing, and I can use it. I'm authorized to use it.
I can see companies like Sony being like uncle, but companies like Microsoft and maybe Nintendo saying "fuck you." The reason why I say that is because Sony makes a lot of single player games and their voice acting is very important. The main thing that they need to really like when it comes to single player games for like Sony, they really care about actors, mocap actors, all that stuff because that is really important to the stories that they tell. But people like Microsoft who make multiplayer games, they're like, "Fuck y'all. We don't need your voice acting. We can get somebody in the damn studio to do it for you." You know what I mean? So this might be one of those things that is like it will be like one or two, like a couple of the major companies will be like, "Yeah, let's not be dicks about this because we actually need these people." While the other half of the video game industry is like, "We don't need them. Fuck, we need them for."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and honestly,
So,
it's somewhat different than with the AMPTP because I don't know. Is there a consortium similar to the AMPTP for video game companies? I don't know if that's true. Um, if there was, that would be the situation. But I
mhm,
think in this case, it's actually about individual companies and having them trying to get a contract, between between SAG-AFTRA and the individual companies, and of course,
mhm,
SAG is going to want the same contract between that's the whole point of negotiating with as a group, for the studios makes sense so that everyone's not following different contracts and it's not all, some people get better deals than others. Why do that when you can just have a standard contract? Um,
yeah,
I feel like because we're in the season of the strike, not just in entertainment but elsewhere, that this was an inevitability, uh, because I don't think compensation is awesome for voice actors in the first place, and really them wanting to get more protections and whatnot for their members. And people are, I think we're in a season where regular workers are just feeling like, hey, we know that we're not being treated as well as we should be, and
mhm,
we can really lobby and fight for, to be treated more fairly, considering the state of the economy and record profits and everything. Yeah, as I understand it, the video game industry is not hurting right now, so
no,
there's no reason why they can't accommodate. But I don't know all the details about this just yet. I suspect I'm gonna guess we're not gonna get a strike, but I mean it could come up, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that and see what develops in the coming weeks. So we'll let you guys know all about that when that happens. And we're on to this is the big news of the day. So I think something we really need to pause and really focus on, and just for me personally, y'all know me. I love unions and everything. I'm all for it. Workers standing up for themselves, everything like that, all day, every day. So I love when I see a W. You know that a huge dub for the working writers, because the WGA and the AMPTP have reached a deal, and they've reached a deal such that within, I guess, within a few hours, the strike is going to be officially over. Writers are going to get back to work, and this deal is going to be, looked over and sent to be voted on by the members of the WGA, the Writers Guild of America, um, starting in I think the first week of next month. I think voting ends on the 9th or something like that. And by all measures, it seems like I haven't seen what they gave up in order to get what they got, because obviously they're going to just tout the things that they got that was good. But it seems to me that more money, more guarantee of work, kind of the things they were looking for to cut out these little mini writer rooms, that the kind of exploitation of that, the writers on that, some guaranteed minimums on seasons. They're sorting out streaming and residuals. I know a lot of the sticking points that were really getting to them have seemed to be addressed for the writers, and also the subject of AI was really dealt with. Uh, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it was I don't think it was definitively dealt with. I think there's some room in there for AI to be a problem, but as of now, I think it seems to be locked down to be a tool as opposed to a creative force. And there's details. Well, we can get into that, but the point is that it appears to be a really favorable outcome for the writers in Hollywood. So, Lottie, I don't expect you to have read all of the stuff through there, but like just from the surface, you know, how do you feel about this? Did they do well, and what are your concerns about this?
I'm happy that they're able to get what they want, but I will say this: there's one thing that I really do not like, and I- it kind of makes them seem like hypocrites in the end. It just does. Is the fact that they are allowed to use uh AI to help them write. And I don't know what the extent of that is, but I don't like that whatsoever at all. Like, is it like maybe I'm just overlooking into it and maybe overthinking? It might be they can only use AI to help them write, like how I use AI to help me like fill in some holes in in like a scene of an animation. But if it's like they're like, oh, I came up with this good concept and I'm having AI write a nice portion of it, I don't like that whatsoever. Because that, like, someone like me who does 3D art and animation, it's something that I go through. There's sometimes people tell me, like, straight up, somebody who's never made any of their art ever, their art, oh, this guy's art is better than yours. Yeah, because he just put it in a fucking AI machine. Like, that man has no talent whatsoever. The AI is doing everything. But it's just I just think that AI should be just completely destroyed when it comes to creative writing and art. Like, I just think it should just be that. The only AI should only be used to like in a certain sense of like, oh, like in like gaming, instead of this guy creating and putting down a million trees, AI will put down the trees for him. That makes sense. But like AI creating the city, the main hub of the game, no. No. We might as well pay AI to do everything, you know what I mean?
Well, I so on the issue of AI, I suspect that these few things we see here that they've highlighted as changes related to AI
Mhm.
are the compromise. Because remember, my last rant about this. If they could replace everyone with AI, these companies would, right? To make good enough stuff, not great stuff, not terrible stuff, just good enough stuff. And so I suspect that these things, and I can run down them. They say, um, that AI can't write or rewrite literary material, and will not AI generated material will not be considered source material under the agreement, meaning that AI generated material can't be used to undermine a writer's credit or separate rights. In other words, an AI cannot be counted as a co-writer or anything like that, and none of its output can be essentially counted as a certain percentage of this is the AI and certain percentages the writer. Therefore, the writer only gets X percent of the credit on this thing. So cool. There will never be a computer that gets writing credit, at least not in this contract. that a writer can choose to use AI when performing the writing services if the company consents and provided that the writer follows applicable company policies, but the company can't require the writer to use AI software when
Mm-hmm.
performing writing services. Okay. So, in other words, it's a tool and the writer can choose to use that tool. Um, okay. I mean, I guess there's a bit of daylight in there for AI to become more than just a tool. But on this contract, they seem to be buttoning it up. The company must disclose to the writer if any materials given to the writer have been generated by AI or incorporate AI generated material. Or in other words, they can't hand a writer something and say, here's the first draft of something. Can you rewrite this and punch it up so it's like, more of a polished draft? And then not tell them this unpolished draft was AI generated. So they, that was one of their fears, was that as writers, they were going to be essentially given the task of proofreading, not proofreading, but well, I guess you could call it proofreading in a way, and AI stuff to make it better so that they'll get less money in script credit. And therefore, they're really just kind of minding an AI that's sort of cranking a shit out. And finally, the WGA reserves the right to assert that exploitation of writers' material to train AI is prohibited by the agreement or other law. And that's just to reiterate, hey, y'all can't just be sitting up there and feeding all of our old scripts into this fucking AI and then telling them to write in the style of this person whose scripts you've written into them. And that is actually related to the fact that some writers, George R.R. Martin is among other people, are suing OpenAI about ChatGPT basically plagiarizing their work. Because in order for ChatGPT to write, it needs to have read other writing first to have it a baseline to start from. So for it to generate other stories, it has to have read a bunch of stories in the first place. And feeding them stories essentially is plagiarism in the minds of the people who are suing. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. The AI usage is, in your mind, no usage ever, because it's, you're using AI to basically write for you without and you don't have to have any real creative input. And this seems to, like I said, it seems to basically reduce it to Clippy, basically. If you guys are old enough to remember Clippy from Microsoft Word like 20 something years ago, where Clippy is just there and he's gonna finish sentences and tighten up your whatever and all that stuff, or even maybe just give you a broad bare bones little outline and then you work from there. Look, Lottie, I understand your concerns, but there are ways you can use AI to sort of, help you organize what you already have together into something that makes more sense. You can use it to streamline your work. But also, I understand you're just like, but you're not really, if you're telling the AI to write a story, what's the point of you as a person? So, well, beyond the AI thing, it looks to me like there's people are saying, yay, we won. And without seeing what the AMPTP got, it's hard to dispute that. I think that, because it seems like there's a lot of more money within the bullet points. I don't know. That's, like I said, I didn't expect you to read all of that, but look, our national nightmare is almost over, Lottie. The writers are getting back in there. They're gonna start scribbling on paper, and as some people saying, making mid shows, and they why pay them anyway? They just make garbage. But they're gonna be making stuff. So now we gotta look forward to the actors, and hopefully, I've heard that maybe SAG-AFTRA is going to be going into negotiations within the next week. So maybe, just maybe, Hollywood will be back to doing what it does best, which is, trying to entertain us and, possibly succeeding in some places. So I don't know, Lottie, do you feel optimistic about this, about the end of the strikes in general?
I mean, it's nice to get people back to work because there's some people that got to get their bills paid. So, you know,
Yeah.
hopefully we can actually start getting some of the stuff that, some of the TV shows that we got cuck teased about,
Yeah.
finally getting them out, or movies. So I am optimistic. I just hate AI. I just hate that, me being an engineer. I just hate how, instead of we engineers, we read off an oath that we will do things that will embetter the life of humanity, but it seems like we're so concentrated on making technology that just is going to ruin humanity. Like, why are we not making stuff like things that could help, that can like run off of pollution, but instead we want to create a fucking AI that will make people jobless? Like, yeah, that's what the fuck we want to make. Ugh. Just fucking stupid. Like, it's just like you just ask yourself, like, why? Like, who? Like, it's like, I remember like one person like made a joke about it. Like, the engineer that was like the engineer that discovered AI. Yeah, I made an AI that can code and do anything better than me. And the person and the guy, and like he presented it to his boss, and he was like, "Oh, nice, you're fired." What? Yeah, you're fired. Why do I need you? This thing can do everything that you need without taking a break. You're fired.
Yeah.
It's just fucking
Well,
stupid.
in defense of the people that are developing these AI, and calling them AI that's a bit much. They're not really intelligent, but
No, they're not. But it's
but
just,
but these AI systems, in their defense, they are trying to create something that would be, optimal, that will be useful. I have to be honest. A computer that can fix itself would be awesome, right? A software that could debug itself would be great. Hell, software that could tell me what the fuck is going on would be awesome too. There are many places I think AI would be way better than just people. And I hate the fact that bus drivers would be replaced, but a fucking bus driver is not necessary if a computer can just drive the damn car itself. And yeah, I don't think that these engineers should be thinking, man, I got to protect jobs. That's not really that's not going to get us to where we need to go. The engineers and scientists, they need to be pushing the boundaries and figuring out what exactly we can do and how to do it best, as opposed to thinking like, you know what, if we create a better tractor that can, like, harvest, you know rows of corn, many rows of corn, at per hour, that's surely going to put people who harvest corn out of business. Well, that's unfortunate, but like, it's it's better that it's done that way. And then people have to find some other things to do. I hate to even be the person talking like this because I'm all pro worker, but also there's a place for AI in our society, and we've got to make way for it and learn how to live with it, because it's going to be, our world can be better with AI in it. We just have to figure out where to employ it. I just don't think at this moment, until you make a truly intelligent computer, I don't think that the creative arts is where it's at. Because all the AI is doing now is plagiarizing. That's literally what it's doing.
yeah.
It's just plagiarizing. And so if that's all it can do, people can plagiarize too. That's like, if you pay other people, people to plagiarize too, but I guess they're not fast enough. So anyway, uh, good job, WGA. I'm so happy that they are able to, like, make this deal and get back to work. Some of my favorite creators, writers that I follow, they can get back in there and start making cool stuff. and hoping for SAG to to get their thing together also, and then we can just start 2024 properly with real TV shows. God damn it! Instead of all of this bank stuff that they're putting out, and none of this reality show bullshit. So anyway, I think that's all we got to talk about this week. It's been a long, lively discussion. I really enjoyed it. So, but what did you guys think about what we had to say? And what did you think about what we were talking about? If you have some comments, some thoughts, just your general impressions, get down to the comment section and let us know what you're thinking. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps with the channel, helps us to grow, helps more people to see this podcast and the many other videos on the channel. And we do appreciate your support. And of course, if you're on a podcasting platform, leave a 5-star review. That'd be dope. It'd be really nice of you to let more people to know that this is a podcast that you enjoy listening to. And you can also hit us up on Instagram, on Threads. I'm on TikTok, but I'm not really doing anything with it. Help me figure out what to do with TikTok. I'm trying to figure it out. But all those places, come show some love, show some support. And speaking of showing love and support, my good friend Lottie, he lets us know about how much he doesn't like AI, but also how much he loves superheroes and other nerdy things like that. And really makes this podcast what it is. So, Lottie, where can they reach you on social media?
Oh yeah, you can always find me on my Instagram, which is Anukinihun. Again, it's Anukinihun, ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. And of course, you can always find me on my YouTube channel, which is Anukinihun Animations. You might see me leave comments or things on Instagram about how much you guys are dick riding Homelander. Get off the man's nuts. But yeah, if you ever have time, come follow my Instagram or subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, and keep an eye out. As we said, keep reminding y'all, it's spooky season's coming up this week. Next week, and I'm sure Lottie's going to be streaming some horror themed video games. So check it out. Check it. Leave some likes, comments, all that good stuff. All right, thanks for joining us this week. This has been episode 120 of the Supercast. Come back next week as we live in a new world where the writers are working again. Hopefully, SAG is going to get their stuff together also. And we have Gen V premiering on Friday this week. So, man, next week is going to be off the chain. I believe it, and I'm ready for it. So, but until then, I have been Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.